There are many different ways to buy Bitcoin, but the cheapest and fastest way to buy Bitcoin with cash is with a CoinFlip Bitcoin ATM. CoinFlip ATMs allow anyone to buy Bitcoin with the lowest fees and within just a few steps. Hi, I'm Amy, and I'm one of the hundreds of store owners who partner with CoinFlip. In this convenient store, we host a CoinFlip Bitcoin ATM. We earn passive income, more foot traffic, and we get free advertising done by the CoinFlip team. Getting the ATM was easy. We just contact the CoinFlip team at info@coinflip.tech, and they handle everything with no cost to the store owner. This includes installation, maintenance, marketing, and even 24/7 customer service. We just provide a small space within the store. To get your own CoinFlip Bitcoin ATM and join the monetary revolution, contact CoinFlip today. info@coinflip.tech or fill out the form at request.coinflip.tech. 773-800-0106.
Oh man, my stomach hurts. Hold on, guys. Something about smoking definitely does help with nausea. I don't know what it is, but like I don't feel good today. As soon as I take a hit, I feel like grounded and I get the stop like, oh, I definitely don't feel good. But anyway, hi everybody. I'm with my bro 3D. Douglas, how goes it?
I'm alright, man. Sorry you're not feeling better, man.
Yeah, dude, I woke up this morning and it was just like, I don't know if it's something I ate or if it's just my entire, oh no, you know what? It is definitely something I literally just remembered I ordered Taco Bell at midnight. Yeah, I feel like shit. Thank you, Taco Bell. Like, I definitely got sick. I don't feel good. It ain't like I didn't eat right. It's definitely like, great. I probably got COVID from a fucking taco.
And once you get it out of your system, you'll feel a whole lot better, man.
Yeah, I need to get a hot shower and sweat it out, man. Oof. But like I mentioned, smoking definitely makes me feel better when I'm sick. Like, you know, it's weird.
Oh, yeah.
You would think it would make you feel worse because you're like, you know, you're more sensitive to like, you know, your body when you're stoned. And for some reason, it just like, I don't know, I stop feeling like I'm going to throw up or my stomach like calms down. Then, you know, anyway.
Well, you know, it's a relaxer. It's just relaxing you out, man, from head to toe.
I need insurance. Who has that? Is there an NFT for health insurance, bro?
If there is, I can make it.
Yeah, let's figure that out because I just need to borrow insurance for like the day. I don't always need insurance, but if somebody had like a health insurance plan that I could just like, you know, they could lease out the NFT and I could just like borrow your insurance policy for the day.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stake my insurance card in, and then when he's done, I'm just gonna unstake it.
That's actually pretty cool to think about, staking your health insurance in general, just as like a thing in general, because like that's all these things that can go into your FICO credit score, all of that, you know, your credit score histories, your you know, what you owe and what you've paid with a public ledger. Who the fuck needs a FICO? I just go to the blockchain, check out the Block Explorer, and I could see your credit score and your credit history and your credit report right there. Yeah, we could definitely use NFTs for things like being able to, you know, stake your life insurance, your health insurance policies. Basically, it would just be like getting a better credit score so you can take out a loan at a bank when you have those things.
So if we get to that point, man, like you buy your car, right? You get your car NFT. You would stake that car NFT as insurance, and then whoever your insurance provider is would receive your rewards for that stake, unless you do something wrong.
Yes, because your premium, you know, and then you would have a penalty. You would definitely have a penalty, right? I mean, that's always been there. Why not have the tokenomics for that? Oh, I do want to throw up this real quick. Boop boop, boop boop. You have a sale live right now, right? The Son Goku.
Yeah, Son Goku. I made that in 2001.
What's up with this one not loading,
MS
man?
Paint.
It's always doing this to me.
I don't know. When you click on that one,
Let me slide
there's a
this
music
over for the
video and a
chat.
bunch of other stuff in it. The one that doesn't load very well, it's actually a full music album. And
Oh.
it has something to do with the GIF, but when you click on it, there's a 8-minute music video, a download QR. It's pretty legit.
Oh, wait, I think I know what went wrong here, bro. All right, so the video hash, right? Is that an MP4 video hash?
The video, yeah,
You should have used
yeah,
IPFS as your attribute
it is.
instead of video. Oh, is that just the name then that you named it?
Yeah, that's just the name.
But it is
I had
okay.
Yeah, I
It's
had
weird
done
then you're
like
having
8
issues with
different
that.
schemas. It's just that GIF. That GIF has a transparent background, and that transparent background moves. And I think that's what's messing it up.
It
Is that
does look
transparency?
oblong. Yeah, it says technically music right here, and it's like oblong in shape, and not most, if any, NFTs that I've seen on Atomic Hub have that rectangular perspective or ratio to it. Is that like the original ratio? Is it like a rectangle? Yeah, okay.
Yep.
That makes sense then. All right, yeah. So they're probably gonna have to update their marketplace UI to display data like this because you're probably the first to really be using images in that way for them. Obviously.
Yeah, it's like I didn't even think about that until you just mentioned it. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think for the next one I'm going to release, I'll do a vertical
Just make them
orientation.
update their damn UX UI, bro. They should just display it. Anyway, this is the one right here, right? Sun Goku. That's the
Yeah,
one. Are they all available right now? It looks like.
yeah, they should all be available now.
Okay.
Son Goku is my
Oh, dude,
last
yeah. It
drop.
says sold 4 of these of the ones that I can't really see right now. You sold 2 of the video gifts that I actually was like, dude, this is the NFTs you should be making. When
Like,
you were tweeting this stuff out nonstop on Twitter, and I
yeah.
remember like, bro, this needs to be NFTs. Like this is an NFT series. I love it.
Now click on that one. That one has 2 of those little gifs and a song.
So I can let me see. I can click on one right here. Yeah. So there's a video. Oh, they can hear it.
Yeah, that's a little song.
I can't see the
And
video because something ain't loading. It's Atomic Hub.
yeah, but the audio loads on it, and that was the important part.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but yeah, I'm gonna start releasing all my albums as NFTs on Wax because I can't afford it on Ethereum no more. And that's where I was previously releasing my albums. So yeah, you get 2 little of those fun gifts, and then the actual song. It's pretty neat.
Well, I'm gonna pick up a Sun Goku. I think does that give me mint number 1 now?
If you're the first one to buy it, it will give you mint number 1.
Oh shit, my bad, chat. Yeah, I bought mint number 1 of Sun
Congrats.
Goku, and actually because I already have like a Goku theme NFT myself of me, I had to grab this thing because Sun Goku. That was like one of my first parody NFTs. Was I wanted to be a Super Saiyan or a Super Saiyan God or Ultra Instincts, something. And
Mhm.
I wanted to go Saiyan. So yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, and that image was made in 2001 on MS Paint, back when I was in high school, the end of high school. So it's got some age to it and stuff.
So the short link for this actually already lost it, but I'll post the link in the chat for everybody. And if you're on vim.tv, now the post hive button fucking works. I can post the link in vim.tv as well, so there's the link to the drop. I picked up one of the Sun Gokus, man. That was OG art, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that as well. There is, like you mentioned, you created that. What'd you say, 2011?
2001.
2001. Yeah.
One.
Wow. So,
The year before I got to Hash Cash.
damn, bro, 2001. So, is there any way to like prove that? Like, do you have like a file that would have like the metadata? Obviously, I guess that would be. It's all like you could fake that data on like Windows and shit. I think, right? Like,
I did burn it down to a disk in 2001, and I have the actual original copy on a burned CD disc with the original data.
because I was just curious. Yeah, how would we be able to prove that this art was created then? without people being able to like say, since it's not on a blockchain, the data that is being displayed could be doctored, right? So you could have made it today and put it on a CD today and doctored the file to say, you know, it was created in 2001, right?
Yeah. The CD is really going to prove, because when you see the CD, you'll see that it's fucking old as fuck.
Oh, and that can be that can be physically timestamped too, because they could look at like exactly, not exactly, but I guess within a good couple months to, you know, they could figure out how old the disc is and how long ago the laser etching was actually done onto it, because you know there's oxidation that would have occurred, and during oxidation, that's kind of like a timestamp signature for things like that.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's good. Yeah, now you have physical timestamp proof that you did. You know, I'm just curious, like, because I think, and this is why I wanted to bring this up, artists that are going to be coming into this space, and you know, I look at it along the lines of things outside. Like, imagine the people that designed the you know buildings in New York City with AutoCAD, those big buildings on their iPads, and the next thing you know, 10 years later, a bunch of people that are construction workers took that guy's drawing on an iPad and built an entire physical building, right? The people that do those doodles, I think they're going to come into NFTs and things like CryptoVoxels or Decentraland with a lot of architecture that hasn't been purchased and built in the real world, so they have the rights to sell it in a virtual sense. I'm thinking, when are they going to get into this, and when are they going to be able to, and how will they prove that is their, you know, design that they created when they were in high school, something, right, that has that nostalgic value that they can, because now's the time they can tokenize it. They couldn't have tokenized it, you know, as an NFT 10 years ago when they were in high school or college. So proving that this is a decade-old piece of art from an artist who's been doing art for 30 years, you know, I think that, you know, we're going to see artists from like that AutoCAD construction stuff, even from like artists that paint paintings like Banksy and stuff like that, that physical stuff. They're going to have an entire trove of digital doodles that they've done on iPads that they've never really released. But how are they going to be able to prove that this is their stuff that is that old, you know, without minting it first, right? It's like first to mint is kind of like first to action, even if it's counterfeited, right? Like I've seen people tweet, oh, I'm about to mint this art, and next thing you know, 100 people already beat them to it on the blockchain.
Yeah. I've even come across that problem where I was talking about a mechanic I was going to do on Ethereum. And then the day I minted it, I was like, oh, I'm number one. And so I went back and was checking stuff and realized someone did it before me, like minutes before me. And I was like, oh, I should have minted it first and then said something. But you learn and you live, right?
Especially in this space, it's really easy to go from 0 to done if somebody says something out loud in earshot radius, right? Like you could just go from, oh, I heard something in a bathroom stall at a conference, at, you know, crypto conference. By the time lunch happens, you know, it's already been stolen and actually built and minted, and now it looks like you stole their fucking idea.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But you know, that is you know, even with like patents and stuff, that's always a problem.
I do worry about these Instagram artists that are out there posting their, you know, art on Instagram saying, hey, go on over to Fiverr if you want to buy one of my prints, right? And I'm just like, people are taking your art from Instagram and putting it on like Rarible. It's happening all day, nonstop, all day, every day. They're taking your identity and making Twitter accounts because all you use is Instagram and all you use is Fiverr. But your art is on every blockchain before you even had a chance to use it. How do we correct shit like that? Like, I'm curious, since you're like that, you know, techie, nerdy duty, is there like things that you've been thinking? Because like along my lines, I'm thinking non-transferable, non-burnable, you know, warning NFTs that are sent to counterfeit wallets, or is there anything to do with like maybe metadata that could be put from like, you know, that disk that you have? Is there something from that 2001, you know, JPEG that we could take and put into NFT metadata that establishes, even though somebody may have, you know, saw that art that you posted on Facebook or MySpace, you know, back in 2001, and they took it and already made an NFT of it. they're missing this key ingredient that we would expect to see, like, you know, what we would look for a verification badge or something on Rarible.
Yeah, for like a lot of like older data, uh, the actual file sometimes is incompatible with new age
Yeah.
file of the same type. And so when that happens, that is a type of metadata that can be used, because then you can actually take like a digital screenshot of the metadata of that file, which is, so to speak, like the internal data, taking a screenshot of that. It's not like a screenshot we're used to with the phones and stuff.
Right.
And
It's
so
a
that's
snapshot.
actually, yeah, so that's actually possible if the files are no longer usable nowadays. And that I think it's like old .pngs are like that right now. And then I have come across a guy who is like top 20 Ether sellers, who even on the Ether page it says, I'm on this Instagram, this is my Instagram, blah 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 blah. And I went to the person's Instagram and had to use my daughter's Instagram account to message him and say, hey, are you selling these on Ether? And he was like, no, what's that? And it's like, okay, dude, you need to Google your stuff. Now, there is something you can do. When you make something, you can actually turn it into a base64 hash. So what that does, it takes the center of the image and then it goes around and it collects all the data and then spits out a hash. So unless someone goes through and crops it, it will always be the same. And even when you crop it, it's still
it has some of the
same
thumbprint, right? Like a piece
Yeah,
of the
it will still
fingerprint
be
is
there.
there. Wow. All right. So that's why I asked you that question, because I've been talking to artists that are on Instagram and they're worried about being able to verify that this is their Instagram art that is inside of that NFT and not somebody taking their identity. So there are ways to use traditional data file, you know, and take a snapshot of something and put that into an NFT.
Yeah. It's like I wanted to do that with the Son Goku, but I just didn't bother too much with it because the file it is still compatible to now. Like it still runs on Linux and it still runs on Windows. And so I didn't think it would be as important. But to be honest, I probably should have just gone ahead and done that. And I'll probably do that for the next one, because I
Do
still
it for the
have
next
art.
one, because that's what I want to start doing myself, man. Because you know, we got to start setting the standards at the community level, so that way,
Yeah.
you know, the corporates that come in, like Street Fighters and shit, like this is what I expected them to do. And then when I'm looking at their NFTs, I don't even know who made the art, like who's the art. They're like, I would expect it more like the about section to be a little bit more professional, a little bit more corpro. And they're not doing things because they're not treating it like that, because we're not treating it like that. We're not setting the standard of, you know, using Filecoin or some kind of or a blockchain to actually store our images that we're using for our NFTs. And that's what we would expect them to do. But they don't want to give that to us because we're not doing it ourselves. We're not even. So we got to set the standards. We got to start using those things, man.
Now, like, I wish I could use Base64 media on, like, when I'm minting NFTs on Wax and Ether. And it's something I've asked for, you know, ever since I've been on Ether, on Rarible and stuff, and OpenSea, I've been asking them, hey, look, let me use Base64 media. It's more exact, it's more permanent, it's offline capable. And since no one was letting me do it or whatever, I made my my blockchain, the news chain with Private Paper and Hasher. They accept, you know, you can use Base64 media there, so you can make completely offline capable NFTs, completely offline capable web pages, news chains, blockchains. Like, I am trying to set a standard, at least in my blockchain, where it's like, you can protect yourself with this data and with this methods. And then it being offline capable, you know, these NFTs we all have, we need internet to watch them. Well, imagine getting that NFT, going offline, and that NFT is still there, the video is still there, the picture, you know, that's all something that should be going on.
Yep,
and the only reason
exactly,
why
man. And you can do that with his shit bros is what I'm telling you, which is insanity. It's just like thinking about that is just like offline NFTs. Go ahead, turn your Wi-Fi off, go on airplane mode, open up MetaMask, and go ahead, check out your NFTs. Exactly, bro. Exactly. But you can do this with the Private Paper stuff that you're building with your blockchain, and it's just like, it's really cool to see a bro doing things that you would expect to be like at that corporate standard. We're like, hey man, if my phone isn't connected to the internet and I can't even see these Street Fighter NFTs, that's a little weird that I could still see my Bro 3D's NFTs, but these companies haven't done what it takes to do offline. Like, and that's the important part of it too, is like, making it. Let's talk a little bit about that. How is it offline? How is that possible? And then I wanted to talk about a little bit how you put a blockchain inside of an NFT.
All right. Well, base64 is a very generic type of hashing where the base character length is 64 types of characters used as its base. While decimal is a base 10, right? So we have more than just numbers. We have a lot of letters. We have special characters, all sorts of fun stuff that allows us to build a hash. Now, all of your web browsers can decode base64 because back in like 2000 and 2001, we used to have hash-based internet. And I used to be like an understudy for people that worked at one of the leading hash network places. And that is the only reason why our browsers can decode that, is because they were doing, I think at the time it was like base 34, and there's even like base 92. And all of those are usable offline just because it's absolutely 100% the data in a hash. Using techniques, we can compress it down about 30 to 40% on average. There are some higher techniques that Google's building and some other companies are building that can go down to about 60% for non-moving data, like your audio and your pictures. But still, I mean, just knowing that your web browser, without any dependencies, not needing anything, it can just decode it because it's a reversible hash. It's not like a SHA. It's not considered secure because it can always be reversed into the original. And then when it's reversed to the original, remember that snapshot data I was talking about? That's actually what it is. And then it just builds it back up, and then your computer goes, oh, I know what that is. That data is a picture, or that data is a video, and then that's how it displays. And then so that's the only reason why it does it.
This is, yeah, exactly. In the chat I see this should be the standard, and with people like Douglas doing this, it'll pressure them into adopting it as a standard. Even I want to. I just, it obviously isn't easy. It's definitely more tech savvy side of things, but I think as people like 3D make it more user friendly with his platforms, other platforms will be incentivized to make it easy as well, stoner friendly, so to speak. That's what I need. I need stoner friendly technology, man. I don't know how the hell a microwave works. I just know how to make popcorn.
Right.
I have no clue how Wax makes NFTs. I just really know how to make Wax NFTs.
Right. It's like I have a lot of fun with blockchains. I tend to hack them as much as I can. Like I hacked the Flow blockchain. I stole one of my
NBA
data.
Top Shot stuff, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I stole one of my NBA Top Shot moments, put it on private paper NFT, and now I offer it for free. So now people can grab that same NFT. They have all the same data, and boom, there's not an NBA can do about it unless they block my wallet off of their blockchain. There's nothing they can do about it because they've stolen all their data publicly on the blockchain.
That's so cool. But you still don't have your private keys.
Nope. Don't have my private keys. So they could transfer it out of my without my consent, but
it's probably somewhere in the terms and conditions. I haven't fucking read them, but I'm sure that that's in there.
All right, so like I've been putting these private paper blockchains inside the Ethereum NFTs for a long time, and I'm getting ready to put them into Wax blockchain. I've already pushed some to Bitcoin Cash. There is actually a private paper NFT in the Bitcoin Cash blockchain. Whether they like it or not, it's there. And we're getting ready to figure out how to start native pushing our private paper data to the BitTube blockchain. So that way, like, you'd be able to go to a specific block and then reverse the base64 media of the OP return. And then boom, there would be the link, there would be the data, and it would just, you'd be able to click on it, pop it open into your browser, and view it completely. And
This
so
is the
we're
face of somebody who's been thinking deeply about everything you've been saying, and just like the gears are turning, and I'm just like, oh my God. That's crazy that it's on the Bitcoin Cash blockchain. And I guess you just put the data as a memo in a BCH transaction, right?
I did it in the OP return, which is normally what you use. Like if I send too much coins and I want some coins returned to a different wallet, that's what the OP return is for.
Okay.
So I just stuck it in there as a link, because all of the private paper data is used as a link.
And it's
And that-
clickable because it's a return. It's basically like a bill. You sent like a bill.
Yeah.
That's
so in the
crazy.
invoice, it has that link in there. Yeah.
That's fucking big brain shit, bros. This is how you guerrilla market your NFTs. Wow. I definitely got to get some of my NFTs, or at least promote. Like, that's not something that's been used much at all, dude. Like, being able to do things like put, I guess offline data on a blockchain and distribute it to multiple chains like that. Like you said, the BitTube's next. How are you planning on? Because I guess I kind of figured how you did it with the BCH. How would it be done with BitTube?
That gets a little bit more tricky, but BitTube is HTML and JavaScript compatible. And since mine is a JavaScript blockchain, we're going to try to send it as a transaction. So like, how like with Bitcoin, you can send a moneyless transaction to the blockchain to append things to the blockchain. We're going to attempt that. And we're going to attempt to do it without a node, just using a standard BitTube wallet. I've been in talks with a few different people that work with BitTube, and every time I talk to them how I want to do it, they say, yeah, that should be possible. And now it's just a matter of figuring out in their UI how I can append it so when I send it, it actually affects. And like with the Bitcoin Cash, I did that as an airdrop on the 3D token holders.
Oh, so I
3D
got
token
one of
holders,
those.
Yeah, you do. So the 3D token holders, they received some Bitcoin Cash one day from me. Well, if you go to that transaction on the blockchain, OP return, you can push a button to decode it, and then boom.
Whoa, could
right
you
there.
do this with your... So could you have just made an individual SLP token and use that SLP token as the airdrop? And you could have just named the SLP the NBA Top Shot moment, and then use the SLP as the send to send the invoice with the link.
Yeah, that could be done.
Yo, we could make SLP NFTs.
Yeah.
SLP
Absolutely.
NFTs, bro. That is insanity. What's so private paper, you can do this all from the page, right? Like you can just it's kind of plug and play, but you can use the private paper platform to generate
you can use
this.
our generators to generate it.
Yeah, and then you can take that information, go on over to your Bitcoin Cash wallet and create an SLP token, name it the NFT, put in that data as the invoice, and send that NFT to people.
Yeah, I think after this, I'll probably send an NFT to Roger Ver if I can get a hold of his Bitcoin Cash wallet.
I have it
ridiculous.
for sure, because he sent me some Bitcoin Cash as a troll to be mean to me.
So toss it to me, and I'll send it back to him. I made a SLP token called Bitcoin, 21 million market cap.
I'll go to my
locked,
DMs and I'll get the time and date that he sent me the Bitcoin Cash, and I'll just send you the time and date, and you already know my Bitcoin Cash address, so you can just go to the Block Explorer and look for the time and date that I received, probably like $5 worth of Bitcoin Cash or something.
Yeah, that's all I would need. I'll be able to get it from there.
Exactly. Yeah, he definitely sent me some BCH, so you would definitely be able to send Roger Ver an SLP NFT today. That's offline NFT. That's you'd be able to send an offline website to somebody, or like you did with the NFT having a blockchain inside of it. I could send an offline blockchain through the damn, bro.
Yeah, right now on Ether there's I think 3 blockchains, and then we have various articles with no blockchain behind them also.
So that's like a size thing, right? Why you would use like the Ethereum blockchain to do the NFT with a blockchain inside of it, right?
I did on Ethereum because the OP return accepts higher in characters. I can put more characters into the OP return. Like it has almost like an unlimited number.
Oh, wow.
So we can put as much as we want in there. It just costs more in gas to transfer and stuff.
That's why I was
Um,
figuring, why would you use it? There had to be some reason, and I guess
yeah,
having unlimited, so to speak, invoice character limit, like, yeah, that's pretty powerful for what you're doing because that could be a lot of characters.
yeah. Sometimes they go into the millions of characters, but that's what makes them secure.
Right.
It's it's hard to guess those characters in that exact order.
Well, that's also something that I don't know. Can that be compressed into like zip files to save storage on my phone? So I could have like a million of these inside of like a zip file, so it doesn't take up all this much space.
Yeah, and not only that, but the actual private paper news chain is very small in its own. Like, here's a 1 terabyte yet thumbstick. I have all of the news chains I've ever made on here, and it barely even scratches the surface of it.
Oh, interesting.
I
I
have
thought it would have
micro
been a lot
SD
bigger.
cards with like 2 gigabytes, and they have all of my news chains on there because they're so small, and I don't have to compress them. And it's just they take as very little space as possible because it's just the characters. And if
Offline
like
dead
four
dropping is going to
characters
be
is
the thing, man.
2 bytes.
If I mean, I guess they're already. I guess this is some like CIA level shit, right? Like, you know, like
uh,
they would use some kind of encryption on top of it, so you would obviously need a password to see those characters decrypted. But like, this is the perfect dead drop technology, man.
yeah.
I
And
could
how like
dead drop
when
an entire portfolio in a USB thumb drive into like Times Square and just let somebody pick it up, and next thing you know, they're walking around with an entire, who knows how much offline. It's
yeah,
this is the shit Edward Snowden did, isn't it?
this is what he was trying to figure out. He was trying to figure out elastic digital memory, and mine's not elastic, but it is digital memory.
So what is the difference, I guess, between
Uh,
like Elastic and what would be this one? What would you consider
Okay,
this?
so like with the private paper hashes, when you build something, an object, it gives you this really specific hash, and if you go and change anything inside that, you get a different hash. With the one he was trying to figure out, you could go inside there and change the data without changing the hash, so the hash would always be the same, no matter how big the data inside of it was.
Okay, so it's mutable, not immutable.
Yeah, but it just the internal data of it is. So it was like imagine building a
Right, but
hash
that
as long
wouldn't
as you
be
could,
that wouldn't
and
be
then changing
as
what's
good
inside of it.
though, right? I mean, am I wrong? Is there a
I
benefit? It sounds more like a loss of security than a benefit.
it has both benefits and disadvantages. Like with ours, once it's made, you can't delete it. It's made. Like it's permanent. But with his system, if he could have figured it out, you could have like transferred data in this hash, and then whoever received it after they viewed it, they could delete it without deleting the hash. And then so if someone picks up that hash later, there's nothing inside of it.
Hmm. But that sounds like it could be used as censorship rather than.
It could be used to manipulate.
Right, right,
Um,
right.
Definitely.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
I don't know. I mean, I mean, it's also nice to know that if I sent you a message, that's it. It's gone after you've viewed it and removed it. That I guess that is. There are. I guess it would almost be like using it. What it would be more of a private thing then, right? That would be more privacy focused rather than
mhm,
having like a more you don't have to trust it. It's more verified when it's public. But when there's privacy like that involved, you're kind of giving up that verifiability and going more for the trust. But you're giving
yeah,
up that verifiability for more what you would consider personal security rather than majority security when everything is publicly ledgered.
absolutely. And then that's why, like, just recently we with private paper we came out with Hasher because we were like, well, people are already using private paper to build websites, and so we want to give them more tools. Okay, but we want you to be able to configure your website as much as possible. So we built Hasher. I mean, Hasher, it's like GeoCities 2.0. You can do fading backgrounds from one color to another. You can put in, stuff, headers and nav bars, and you can basically build an entire website and it be permanent. And then when you want to, there are ways to do it to where if you want to change one page, you could change that one page and it would change the outcome of the total result.
So even the people that you have shared this with like a year ago, you could update this and they would get the update. You wouldn't have to send them like a new private paper link to your, offline website.
Yeah, depending on how you want to do it. Now, when you do it that way, it becomes an online needed thing. I use.
So you would just have to get online for a moment for it to update the hash, and then you could go offline from there. I would imagine, right?
Exactly. Yeah. You
Oh,
just have to
okay.
go on to update.
Dude,
Now,
you could
if were in
update
a
that through like a CB radio. You don't need fucking internet for
you
that.
don't. I was just about to say, if you had a mesh net, because it works with mesh net, it technically is a mesh net, and if they were in your mesh net line, you guys could update each other's, end. You could update the other end without it ever going online. It could just be transferred to the mesh net.
This is how they would use NFTs in The Walking Dead. This is exactly how they would use NFTs in The Walking Dead, for sure.
Yeah, this is the start of Web 4.0, where we use blockchains.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, if the internet goes
out,
out, bro, like, this is it. Like, Internet 2.0 is offline. That is the Internet 2.0. It's not a layer 2 on top of the internet. It's just making the internet as obsolete as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Back to intranets, back when you
exactly. Intranets aren't a bad thing, It really isn't. AOL was kind of on to something, so to speak. It was just because of it being a centralized intranet was what made it the problem. But with decentralized mesh netting and doing intranet mesh netting, like in that way, yeah. Like, for sure, it would be way better than having to fucking have Comcast and Verizon stealing all your data and being dependent on them. We could be our own internet service providers, and it will happen. I like GoTenna and what they're doing and projects like them. It's things like that all these devices that consume could just be mesh netted. Like my neighbors have routers, I have a router, but they're Comcast routers. Why aren't they just community routers?
I mean, they could be. Like, you get a couple of Raspberry Pi 4s because it has a built-in Wi-Fi. You can start doing your own mesh net on a stronger bandwidth.
So this is basically what you're doing. Private paper chain is sort of like this mesh net blockchain. It's an intranet blockchain.
Yeah, and it's compatible with anything HTML and JavaScript. So it's compatible with almost all websites. It's compatible with literally every device. Like we all sometimes build a private paper, and then I'll go on my wife's PlayStation 4, bring up her web browser, plug it in, and make sure it works. When my daughter has a Nintendo DS XL or something like that, and we'll get on there because it has a web browser. We'll get on there. We'll go to the news chains, and we'll make sure they work. My daughter makes.
And that's using like
sends them to me.
That's like using like a tiny URL with like internet as a convenience, but you could do that by typing it all in long form, just as well, or like copy and pasting it into those devices. But I do assume, like, and I wanted to bring that up, using like the tiny URL to make it more convenient does make it have that need for the internet as a facilitator of that data. That just that tiny URL to say, all right, what is behind that, 10 text character link instead of the 1 million text character link.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We use tiny URL like all the time. We even have it embedded in our, some of our generators now, where on the bottom of the generator, if you have your hash link, you can actually get that tiny URL real quick, because people were asking us all the time, like, well, how do I use this? Where's tiny URL? And then we found out that some places were being blocked by tiny URL. So embedding a little, it sounds weird, it's like a widget inside the page, but now people who are in a spot where they can't get access to it can actually use that widget to get access to it. Because some countries' main servers automatically
they're just using like a firewall or something.
Yeah.
I guess you wouldn't need to worry about any firewalls at all, as long as you can get that long character link facilitated from you to that end user. Again, using MeshNet, CB radio. Fuck, dude, you could send them a letter in the mail with it printed out, and they could just type it out. Or I'm assuming, and you could correct me if I'm wrong here, this would be way too fucking much data for a QR code.
It takes multiples of QR codes, but
wait, is there a way to scan multiple QR codes to build a private paper offline website?
At the moment, you got to like scan the QR code, copy, paste, and then scan, copy, paste, and build it that way.
Okay,
But
how many does it take? Because that's really fucking cool.
my shortest one takes like 25 QR
Holy
codes.
shit!
Um,
This could be a really cool NFT thing though now, right? With collectibles and Atomic Hub and, collecting all 25 private paper QR code NFTs to like
just to get the one build, yeah.
Right, dude, that's fucking awesome. There's so much fun that could be had with that. But yeah, I mean, I guess if I had like a business card and I could fit on there conveniently, like, maybe 30 QR codes, like 3 rows of 10, there is a way without internet that as long as you have a device that has a browser and a QR code scanner, you could scan all 30 of them and then just view my website without ever touching the internet.
Yeah. It's like I actually have a phone. I use it as a hardware wallet. It's 100% offline. We even pulled out the Wi-Fi chip in it. Don't need it. And it can scan QR codes. And so I pass my private papers onto it by scanning the QR codes one at a time. And then I use it to hand build it, and it has no internet. And then it will still view it because it has the decrypting script.
What's the oldest devices that can utilize this technology? Like, can iPhone...
Anything back to 2009. This technology works all the way back that far.
Wow. Yeah, this is actually something that, like, I have literally zero faith in QR codes, like, for real. Like, I don't think anybody's going to fucking be using QR codes in the future. And now shit like this makes me think, like, well, maybe they will. I just don't think the way that we're using right, but the way that they're being used today or want people to use them mainstream today, nobody's fucking doing it. Nobody's scanning their QR code on a bag of Doritos for whatever Dorito coin. No one's doing that, and it's because QR codes they're just, I don't know, it's just not going to be a thing.
That, right?
Right, exactly. I don't trust them.
And that's one of the things that when we built Private Paper, me and 3G, when we built it, we said, we got to verify. So the underlying layer has this decrypting script that you can take that big long hash, you can decrypt it without opening it as a web page.
Oh,
so you
nice.
can then verify there's nothing malicious.
And I can see that you actually did sign it before I click on it. So somebody could say, hey, Ken, this is a 3D link. Check it out for Private Paper. And I could verify that you actually did generate that link. They didn't just send me something that could potentially, because, offline stuff like, and that's what I wanted to get into, could just have malware in it. It could start to install an Android APK in the back of my Android device because maybe I'm using a rooted phone because rooted phones are way cooler, but because I'm using root access as an end user, clicking on any link or scanning any QR code could easily just install an application and start running it in the background.
Yeah, that's actually like there was a person who just figured out how to distribute malware in a QR code. And the funny thing is they're using a similar technology to what we use, but they infiltrated a QR company and started putting their malware in the back end of QR codes for major brands. So at one point in time, for a year and a half, if you scanned the tiny little QR Aztec that was on your Pepsi Cola bottle, it would actually install malware, and they were watching you. Like, this person was just taking all your information as you were doing stuff.
Yep, this is why no one's scanning QR codes, ladies and gentlemen. How are you gonna say things in crypto like always, don't click on links, always type in the URL to like, my Ether wallet. Don't click on links to my Ether wallet, and then it's like, yeah, but scan this QR code. Like, what the fuck? Like, no one's going to use them unless we can verify it first. Until there's that, verification, and that you built that in directly with Private Paper, so I could verify the hash before it even, pulls
opens.
in that, before it opens it. That's important, man. Like, that you were definitely taking a lot into consideration when you did that.
Yeah, like when me and Greg built Private Paper, there were certain things I told him we have to do. We have to make every private paper, when you build it, has to be like a Bitcoin transaction. You have to put verification data in it. You put your Bitcoin address, you put your CoinTrade, link, and
your
like
signature.
certain little data. Yeah, you have to digitally sign it. And although you have to opt in for everything, like you have to choose to put that in there, but the more of that you use, the more verification people can have, and the more they will be able to trust because of verification.
Oh, nice. So you could be a big blocker or a small blocker and not sign it if you don't want.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
like
funny. So it
most of our
actually could be
generators, you
very
don't need to put
small.
anything.
Yeah, it could be very small. It doesn't have to have a lot of. I guess it would be characters would just be what
Mhm.
because it's almost like just looking at ones and zeros in the matrix, except we're throwing other letters and numbers in there, so it could be viewed at in a different way and have more information with less ones and zeros, right? Because it would probably take a shit ton more of ones and zeros than what what you're using with the alphabet and other numbers included, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's like if the hash 64 is 64% compressing the binary. So whatever the hash is, you got to go out 64% to see the binary. It's like way bigger. Um, and then with ours, we actually compress that base 64 hash 30%. So whatever that URL is, that hash link is, go out like it's like 98%, and that's what your binary is.
Wow, so yeah, the
It's
smallest would
almost
probably
double
be
whatever
about 20 QR codes worth of data. Is there a chance QR code technology could facilitate such large character display in QR code, like in one QR code? Like I've seen some people be
Mhm.
able to like layer QR codes now. It's like a weird like dual, it's like a multi-sig QR code. I don't know if that's a thing, but I've seen things that make me think, hey, like that's two QR codes layered on top of each other, and the only way it works if you scan both at once. That's pretty cool. Is there a thing that like is being done to maybe use like one QR code to facilitate such a large amount of data?
We have been looking into nesting QRs, and there is at the moment like some QR generators where they'll be like, I want to generate a QR code, and then there's a QR code and a QR code and a QR code. So those little boxes, they can
Yeah.
also be QR codes. And the more higher definition our screens get, the more data we can input into these QR codes.
Is it the screens or is it the cameras?
It's actually the screen.
Okay.
The camera already picks up more definition than what our screens output.
Okay, so yeah, it sees more pixels than the screen can produce. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean,
Interesting.
I've seen people this is why I always bring up the cheese QR code on that pizza, because you can hand draw QR codes. You have to have an exact amount, like all the in between white and black
You talking
have to
about
be
Brecky and his
perfect.
cheese pizza QR code?
Yeah, because I've actually hand drawn QR codes, and we used a grid and then hand drawn the QR code, and to be able to put more data inside of a QR code than what our phones were allowing us. And then I did it with DJ. We were going to do like a hunt thing, and we just never finished it. And basically, we were putting in tons of data into these QR codes, but it took I think it was like a 5 by 5 foot piece of paper. It was fucking huge. It was basically a poster board, and it took tons of time. Like it took me hours upon hours upon hours to build one QR code. But the amount of data we had in that QR code was like equivalent to 10 QR codes.
So if you could get a billboard on the highway and
Yeah,
put up a QR code on the billboard, it would probably be able to just be like, here's one QR code on the billboard. You could scan that and go and engage with an offline website or get an offline NFT or
yeah, absolutely. You get an offline generator, sorts of types of things you could do with that. Automatically connect to a mesh network or a hidden network. Go directly into a tour. All sorts of things.
that's yeah, definitely nesting QR codes is cool. Like to see, because I've definitely seen ones where there's like an extra QR code in the bottom right corner, kind of a thing, and I've seen ones where they're just like kind of transparent and they like, it's just weird looking, and I don't know like what's up with that. That's the one that looked kind of like a multi-sig. It was like two transparent QR codes, and I think it's because there's like what 30% corruption rate or something that you get to play with in a QR code.
Yeah, yeah. 30% sounds about right. I think it might be more on some of them, but for average, 30 is a good number. But there's all sorts of fun stuff you can also do with them, um, like if you have a physical, that transparent, like paper where you can kind of see through it, like when you're tracing paper or whatever. There are
Yeah.
people that figured out like I can do a QR code and then rotate it upside down, and it could be a different QR code.
Oh.
So like I think the Cicada trials were the first people to show you that you can take half a QR code. Like, yeah, here's the whole QR code. I can take half of it, and that's one QR code. And then if I just flip it, that's a different QR code. And then if I double it, that's a different QR code. So the Cicada kind of showed people how we can take QR codes and just abuse.
It's like 30%. Fractional QR code art.
Yeah, yeah. And because if you remember the duck, a lot of people remember the duck.
Fractal, not fractional, fractal.
Yeah, but they got the duck when they were doing the Cicada. They got to the duck, and the duck was meant you did something wrong, and a lot of times it was either like you had a wrong character or something, or you didn't flip the QR code, or you didn't open up the QR code. It was all these tiny little tricks that they use to show people, like, look, there's more stuff about this that you haven't realized yet. Just try.
Yeah, shout out to Douglas Horn and Telos. I see DJ Meat Popsicle said shh. But yeah, Telos is pumping. Yeah, what they did with the T-Bonds deserves it. In my mind, like, that is revolutionary NFT finance right there, boy. I've been telling every project I know, look what Telos just did and do it. Look what they did and do it. Do it too.
I got in an argument with that guy, Douglas Horn, on.
Is that why he left my group
Twitter.
Chat?
It's possible. Like,
he definitely bailed out on our group chat and Telegram, but it's all good, Doug. I love you. I love you both Douglases. Okay.
But like the argument was over like proof of work versus proof of stake, and I was like, we haven't actually seen a valuable proof of stake so survive. Like, every DPoSs have been destroyed and things like that, and we got in an argument about that. And when they came out with T-Bonds, I was like, it was on my radar, because it was like, yeah, that's really cool. That's, even I don't like proof of stake, that's still really cool, So even I FOMO'd in a little bit into T-Bonds, and I have Telos now because of T-Bonds, So even though I don't like proof of stake, heck, that was cool enough to get me into it. So
it's basically like the hex of NFTs.
Yeah. And the fact that it's an NFT, I like that. And then they gave you a discount on the actual amount of Telos inside of it. It's like, that's even cooler. And like most people, they want to increase the value of things. Oh, well, the Telos is in an NFT, I got to increase the value. And they were like, well, I'll give you a discount based on how much we put in there. And that was me. That's how you get people in.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you remember, they sold out, like the biggest ones sold out the fastest.
Yeah, and they had the biggest discounts too. So they were definitely taking the most, they're still taking the most risk. I mean, I think it's a 2-year NFT. Obviously, they could offload that risk and trade the NFT to somebody if they want, they could realize profits right now because Telos is up. Therefore, the value of their NFT is up. Even if they got the 30% discount, that now null and void. It is worth what it's worth, based on the amount of Telos inside of it, and then what somebody else is willing to give. Maybe you'll have to give somebody a discount as well because they're getting a 2-year locked up NFT full of Telos. So there's a really cool game theory that's going to be played out there where it looks like win-win-win. Like, I'm trying to find the loser, like,
there is no loser in that case unless someone tries to fake the data or tries to fake the NFT. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. They haven't had to deal with counterfeit NFTs yet. That's going to be a thing. I can't wait. Like, yep.
Well, I own Telos. I'll be hacking their blockchain.
Yeah. Just be cautious of where you guys acquire things, definitely get them from the legit sources. Cause people will definitely be counterfeiting Telos NFT bonds for sure. Because the people don't know how to verify that, hey, there is Telos behind this NFT or whatever. Like, it's very new, so definitely bad actors will be coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah. It's like I just did a song last night for my new album where I was talking about how the Google and Microsoft lied to the government, U.S. government, about algorithms, because algorithms can be manipulated in how the algorithm is taught. And I even said in the song, I was like, they did it because they know you can't verify it because you don't know shit. Maybe it's time for you to learn a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, what the government does is they hire these nerds and take their words for it, and these nerds are just telling them what they want them to know. I mean, it's nothing different than what the witch doctors would do to the kings of medieval England or some shit, right? Like they would still take the word of like the local witch doctor because like they just knew that this plant would cure this rash, and they used that against the people that didn't know better but just had a lot of power.
Yeah, it's like there was a story about these fates that all the kings in this land, they used to listen to these
dude,
fates.
even the Mayans listened to the fucking witch doctors more than they listened to the politicians. Holy shit.
Yeah, and so these lands, they always had this problem with drought and no couldn't grow crops, and it was like they were dying off slowly, and the fates didn't live in the same town. So a new king took over one day and realized that since the fates didn't live where they lived, he went to go visit them at their home. And when he did, their land was very lush. It looked nice. It was beautiful. So he was the first king to stop listening to these fates. And when he did, he then took over their land because he told his people, these fates are killing us. Let me show you. And then he just literally had the people get up, and they all walked to their land and killed the fates to take over that land, because their land was full of, it had gardens, it had vegetables, it had food, and the land that these people just came from was mud. It was completely destroyed. And the fates were doing that to destroy these entire civilization, because they were afraid that one day they would get up and kill them.
Yeah, self-fulfilling prophecies.
Yeah. No, it's just a fun story, something I learned when I was a kid, but
yeah, they'll be telling stories like this, like the GameStop wars, you know what I mean? It's very, very similar shit, man, just hundreds of years apart.
Oh, yeah. And you're right. GameStop is the exact same thing. All these companies are shorting. So everybody's wanting to buy as quickly as they could, as fast as they could. And it rose up the price. Some people got money, some people didn't. And then now look at it again. It's doing the same thing. It's going back to being shorted. And eventually, as it gets closer and closer to that point where longing it and getting enough longs on there and getting enough buys on there will allow the same thing, it's going to happen again. And they're going to keep taking all the money from these big hedge funds. They're going to keep taking all this liquidity.
Oh, dude, all GameStop has to do to actually be worth what they're worth right now, because obviously it's over evaluated. I don't care what anybody fucking says. All they have to do to be worth what they're worth right now, buy Bitcoin. Just pull a Tesla. That's all. Pull a Tesla. Yeah. Buy a little bit of Bitcoin. And now you're worth what you're worth, and it may go up again. Buy some more Bitcoin, maybe worth what you're worth, and go up again. The companies will eventually be Bitcoin.
Yeah. Now, one thing that sucks is GameStop was not allowed to sell any of their stocks to take advantages of things like that.
No, but they can take out loans based on, there's a lot
based off of that value,
yes,
right?
Exactly. So there's a lot of moves that they can pull, and I see them pulling them. Watch, dude. GameStop's gonna come out of the woodwork with like a Dave and Buster's deal or something, where you can't go to any kind of physical location and play Xbox and PlayStation. That's not a thing. There's no arcades. Like even Dave and Buster's has to have their own arcade games. They can't just have an Xbox console. What if you could go to a GameStop and just have like 50 Xboxes, 50 PlayStations, 50 of and now you could play, Call of Duty at your local GameStop arcade on an actual Xbox with a pro gaming controller, and all your friends are with you, and there's a cafe. Yeah, I can see what GameStop's about to pull out of the woodwork, bro. They're going to become like a social hub. Watch.
Absolutely. I mean, if you think about it, like when they were big, they were a social hub. I used to.
They only had like one fucking console, and people would. Yeah, exactly. We would go there in 30s and take turns playing on a Nintendo 64 and try to beat GoldenEye together, all taking turns on missions.
Yeah, and then when you finally beat the game, you had it only took months, so you had finally money to go ahead and buy it, and you were like, okay, now I can do it at home. It was like play before you
still go out to GameStop with your friends and just like window shop rather than play at home. Most of us did.
I do it with my daughter.
I remember when it was called Funko Zone.
Oh man, now you're going way back. I remember when there was GameStop and EB Games.
Oh, EB Games, yeah.
Yeah, now it's just all one company.
Yep. And I don't know, man. I'm excited to see what they do with this for sure. And I think, if they can pull something off and show people like, hey, we're reinvesting in ourselves, other companies will see benefits, like AMC. That's another one that people want to see succeed. So they will give you their money to hope that if I buy this stock, it's me saying, take this money and invest in yourself and make it worth it. And hopefully companies do, Hopefully they
hopefully.
don't rug pull. I mean, I am a little worried that GameStop is just looking at this like, this is the best end of our career we could look for. Like, we might as well just, all right, we're done. Bye. Like, this is, go out on the top, right? Why keep struggling for the next 100 years? So I do think about that a little bit. But that's just me staying cynical.
Oh, that's not really cynical. That's like history. You know, we've seen it before.
Right. Corporate rug pulls are a thing, guys. Don't think that GameStop's above it. That's all I'm saying. You put them at the best point in history to ever just like exit. You know, they're going to sell, maybe. They'll sell their company to somebody who's just going to rebrand it, rug pull it. Who knows? Yeah. There's a lot of things that could, come of this, and history is yet to be written. We're living in it right now. And if you want a chance to permeate your place in history, check out Private Paper and make your website offline, and share the links with your friends. Make a 50 QR code, combo, and get it offline, man. Like, I think the way that you're setting this up is going to be a really weird paradigm. Yeah, paradigm to industry standards. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why is it that I can't get like an offline version of like these things, or like can't verify my NFTs in these ways? Or it's just all, the fact that, somebody like you setting it up, they're going to feel pressured to adopt it at that corpo level. So
yeah,
let's keep pressuring them.
Private Paper is being used in 45 countries now. Like, it's getting to a point where all of their user base is just going to disappear, and they're going to have to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, what's happening with all the Medium and Reddit users? Like, they're going to figure out how to use this to their advantage as the end user, and then the brands are going to have to figure out how to get them back.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, 3D, let's wrap things up, man. Guys, go ahead and check it out. The link is in the title above. His Twitter account's right there, too, Radioactive. It should all be right there in the title anyway.
Yeah, it looked like it was.
Yeah, I keep seeing right up here in the top corner, my NFTs keep getting sold. It's just like one after another. It's weird. Thank you all for buying my NFT. I love you. But yeah, go ahead and play. Oh, it loaded. I wanted to get over here. It loaded. It did load.
Loaded?
Yeah. Boop, boop. And let me bring this down a little bit, and there. So, you guys can see. Oh, of course it didn't load now that I clicked on it. Dude, it was loaded up. I could see it. It was beautiful. Damn it.
It was on screen for a second, yeah. It was on screen for a
of course,
second.
now it's reloading. But go ahead and check it out. Here's a link one more time to the chat if you're watching. Go ahead and get one of those Son Gokus. Oh, you sold 2 of them. There's only a few left, right? Like 6 left or something? Or
No, it's...
I have remaining claims.
Yeah, I did put a max claim, and then eventually, after there's so many minutes, I'm just going to end the drop because I know how to stop drops. So that's why I kept it unlimited.
You can just stop a drop? Okay.
Yeah, bro. I have been hacking the Wax blockchain too much lately, but it's been a fun ride.
All right. Well, that's cool. That's interesting. So you can just there is no time on this that it ends. You can just all right, we're over.
Yeah, you're only allowed so many claims, and eventually it's just going to stop randomly. I'm not going to tell anybody. It's just going to stop, and then when it stops, you release an NFT to let you know it stopped.
This is the shit Street Fighter should be paying you for right now. That right
And they
there.
could've.
Yeah, they could have. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you all for tuning in. This was a lot of fun, 3D. If you guys want to talk to him more in the Telegram, go ahead and join t.me/Ken Bozak. Thanks, everybody on Vim.tv for tuning in, everybody on Periscope, YouTube, I think LinkedIn, all that stuff. Thanks, everybody, and have a day.
All right, thank you, man.
There are many different ways to buy Bitcoin, but the cheapest and fastest way to buy Bitcoin with cash is with a coin flip Bitcoin ATM. Coin flip ATMs allow anyone to buy Bitcoin with the lowest fees and within just a few steps. Hi, I'm Amy, and I'm one of the hundreds of store owners who partner with CoinFlip. In this convenient store, we host a CoinFlip Bitcoin ATM. We earn passive income, more foot traffic, and we get free advertising done by the CoinFlip team. Getting the ATM was easy. We just contact the CoinFlip team at info@coinflip.tech, and they handle everything with no cost to the store owner. This includes installation, maintenance, marketing, and even 24/7 customer service. We just provide a small space within the store. To get your own CoinFlip Bitcoin ATM and join the monetary revolution, contact CoinFlip today. info@coinflip.tech or fill out the form at request.coinflip.tech. 773-800-0106.